hybrid meeting. We have in-person and Zoom. In the event of a technological difficulty, the meeting will continue in person here. I guess we can continue because we have everyone but Corey. We can't hear you, Corey, so we're working on that. We have the 8-6 and the 9-3 minutes.
Yes. Were distributed.
Did you get any edits?
I did not get any edits from them.
Okay, does anyone have anything to add?
No.
In that case, I move to accept the minutes for August 6th, 2025, and September 3rd, 2025. May I have a second?
Second.
Roll call vote.
Sam Alfronti, aye.
Jesse
Jesse?
Platt, aye.
Bert O'Donnell, aye.
Craig Hanafin, aye.
John O'Donnell, aye.
Liz Lake, aye.
Okay.
Corey Miles, aye.
Oh,
Hey,
yay,
there we go.
Oh, there we go.
you're on. Okay. Our first hearing is the Green Harbor Marina. I will read the legal ad. In compliance with the regulations of Massachusetts General Laws, Chapter 131, Section 40, the Wetlands Protection Act, and Code of the Town of Marshfield, Chapter 294, Wetlands Protection, a public hearing will be held by the Marshfield Conservation Commission on Wednesday, October 1st, 2025, to consider the request for determination of applicability filed by the Brewer Green Harbor Marina. And the hearing officer is Commissioner Lake.
Thanks, Craig. Mike, can you confirm whether all administrative requirements have been satisfied?
Yes, all administrative requirements have been met.
Thank you. Do you want to go ahead?
Sure. So Joe Pellegri with the RISE Group, and we're proposing to install 2 EV stations at the Green Harbor Marina in the locations shown. And the reason for the RDA is we'd be removing and then re-pouring a couple of the concrete sidewalk pads there, shown highlighted in blue, roughly 75 square feet, 5 by 5 on one and 5 by 10 on the other. We would then just trench to the 2 stations and run conduit that would be along the asphalt walkway line, if you would.
And the charging stations, are those going to be elevated or?
No, we've had a discussion, we met with the building official. The equipment, such as a disconnect and panel, will be inside on the 2nd floor,
Okay.
so it's purely the stations.
Oh, gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay. That was the only
Yeah.
question I had.
And we did meet with the inspector on site about a month ago, just before I submitted the IDA.
Okay. Mike, did you have any comments on this?
Yes. So this is for 2 electric vehicle charging stations, as mentioned. To install the charging stations, there'll have to be 2 roughly 1.5 by 2.5 areas of asphalt that will be removed, and a concrete pad will be placed to facilitate the actual station. And additionally, there'll be about 20 feet of trenching for electrical utilities. And Andrew Stewart does note in his comments that the equipment will be located above the required flood elevation. Anything located below will be wiring protected from flooding according to the electrical code. And I would suggest issuance of a determination of applicability with a +5, -2, and the following conditions on the cover letter to ensure best management practices are followed before commencing the work, obtain all pertinent permits, and to see the administrator or agent for guidance beyond the approved work activities.
So this work is proposed to be performed in land subject to coastal storm flowage. I think it's an ongoing project. There's been some additional work that's been done on the property. It's pre-disturbed. I had no issues with this proposal. Do any of the other commissioners have any questions or comments?
I just have a question. and Mike, you might be able to answer this from previous applications. What is the elevation, like surrounding the building, or do you happen to know?
Basically, the parking lot, or the slab, I can share this, the slab on the building across from this area
Yeah,
is 8.2. I just know that because we were involved in the solar on that building. Very level, so not much.
so similar to that?
Yeah,
Very similar to that in this area.
I'd agree with that as well. It's virtually the same level as the boat storage building across the way.
Yeah, I was under the impression, and I don't think it's in the building code, but I thought from a flooding standpoint, it was advised not to have EV charging stations in this type of environment, but obviously if the building commissioner and floodplain administrator thinks it's okay, then. Corey, do you have any comment on that? I know you have some experience with this.
Yes, as long as it's using materials that are considered flood damage resistant, there's no enclosure or anything. So there's nothing that's preventing them from doing it.
Okay.
They are considered a sealed device,
Oh, okay.
essentially, yes,
So as long as the conduit's installed?
that's correct,
Okay.
yeah.
Any other comments from the commissioners? No. Anyone in the public have any comments on this project?
Hi, Mary Ann Leonard, 70 Damon's Point Road. I just have a couple of questions. Are these available to the, to the public? Or are they,
That would be up to the facility, so I can't comment on that.
okay? And just curious on, I think that they're measured by kilowatts, how much output they have for an EV car. Do you know what these will be?
Currently, they're designed for 40-amp breakers.
Okay. Which,
It's called a level 2, so
Okay.
it's in the middle of charging
and
capacity in terms
like
of
a 50
speed.
to a 150 to 3, okay.
That's correct, yeah.
Thank you.
Okay.
Any other public comment? Hearing none, I'm going to move to close the hearing and issue a determination of applicability with a +5, -2. May I have a second?
Second.
Roll call vote. Liz Lake, aye.
John O'Donnell, aye.
Craig Hanafin, aye.
Bert O'Donnell, aye.
Jesse Platt, aye.
Sam Alfronti, aye.
Corey Miles, aye.
All right, thank you.
Okay, you're all set.
Thank you all.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mike.
Thank you.
Next is 1339 Ferry Street. In compliance with the regulations of Massachusetts General Laws, Chapter 131, Section 40, Wetlands Protection Act, and Code of the Town of Marshfield, Chapter 294, Wetlands Protection, a public hearing will be held by the Marshfield Conservation Commission on Wednesday, October 1st, 2025, to consider the notice of intent filed for 1339 Ferry Street, and the hearing officer is Vice Chair O'Donnell.
Thank you. Mike, can you confirm administrative taxes, please?
All administrative requirements have been met.
Okay, thank you. Do we get somebody,
Yes, hello, Paul Seibert from Grady Consulting. I'm here remotely.
okay, thank you, Paul. You want to present?
Yeah, sure. I'm assuming I don't have to share my screen. It looks like you have the plan up there,
Yeah.
so everybody can see it. Or if you prefer me to share my screen, I can do that as well.
No, I think we can see it. We're good.
Okay.
Whatever is
great.
better for you, it doesn't matter.
No, this is perfect.
Okay.
So this is a septic repair project located at 1339 Ferry Street. This site currently consists of an existing single-family dwelling. There's a concrete patio and shed located to the north of the existing house. The grades in the rear of the site slopes steeply from elevation 14 to approximately elevation 34 to the rear property line. And there's a coastal beach resource area and riverfront area associated with the South River located to the east of the site, opposite of Ferry Street. The current septic system is approximately 45 years old. The applicant is proposing to install a new system meeting Title V requirements. The proposed system will consist of a 1,500-gallon septic tank, D-box, and two 50-foot-long leaching trenches. The proposed system is located really the only location feasible on the site, and is as far from the resource area as possible. We're proposing a siltsock erosion control barrier between the proposed work and resource area. That said, I'd be happy to answer any questions the commission may have.
Mike, you got any comments on this?
Yes, this is a septic system upgrade essentially. There was a cesspool on site prior to this. It'll be replaced with this 1,500-gallon septic tank and associated two 50-foot-long leaching areas. The limit of work is located just outside of Zone AE, and that has been confirmed by Andrew, so floodplain permits are not required for this project.
Okay, thank you. Has this been approved by Board of Health yet?
Not yet. The meeting is scheduled for October 20th.
Okay. It's a tight site. I think it's about all that can be done. Other commissioners have any comments?
I'm just curious, how does this still have a cesspool?
It's very common in this area, actually. A lot of these houses have older septic systems that haven't been improved yet.
Yeah, but hasn't this changed hands within like the last 5 years?
Yes, it has. It still passes Title V with the cesspool.
Oh, okay.
And overflow leaching pit, but at this point, the owners would like to upgrade it to.
Okay.
It's basically seasonal use, so he wants to make sure it's up to date.
I was assuming a cesspool would not pass Title V, so,
Right.
okay.
No further questions. I'd like to open it up for public comment. I see none. I'd like to make the motion to close the hearing. Have you got any special conditions, Mike?
Yes, I would suggest the following special conditions for this project. General conditions 1 through 18, which are standard special conditions. Prior to construction, condition 5 and 2, to ensure that the site is staked out, erosion controls in place, and to have a pre-construction meeting with myself. During construction, condition 11, to ensure best management practices are followed. After construction, condition 1, to apply for a certificate of compliance. And erosion control, condition 1, to ensure that erosion control is in place and effective throughout duration of work.
Okay, thank you. Did I get a second?
No, not yet.
Second?
Okay. Roll call vote. Corey?
Corey Miles, yes?
Liz?
Liz Lake, yes.
John?
John O'Donnell, yes?
Craig?
Craig Hanafin, yes?
Jesse?
Jesse Platt, yes.
Sam?
Sam Alfroni, yes?
And Bert O'Donnell, yes. Unanimous vote. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, 5 Raleigh Road. In compliance with the regulations of Massachusetts General Laws, Chapter 131, Section 40, the Wetlands Protection Act, and Code of the Town of Marshfield, Chapter 294, Wetlands Protection, a public hearing will be held by the Marshfield Conservation Commission on Wednesday, October 1st, 2025, to consider the notice of intent filed for 5 Raleigh Road, and the hearing officer is Commissioner Malafronte.
Thank you. Mike, can you confirm all administrative requirements have been met?
Yes, all administrative requirements have been met for this
And
project.
Mike, doesn't appear that a DEP file number's been issued?
It was this afternoon. It is SE 423158.
Okay. And Paul, are you here presenting this project as well, or is someone else on?
Actually, Rick Grady in
Okay.
here. So
All right, take it
I'm
away.
coming in hot, so Paul was covering me in case I didn't make it in time.
No worries.
Thank you. Thank you to Rick Grady from Grady Consulting. This is an existing home at number 5 Raleigh Road, at the corner of Raleigh Road and Circuit Avenue West. They would like to elevate the existing house, put it on a new foundation, and then construct some additions and porches. The additions and the porches are to the right-hand side and to the front and left. The porches are roughly in the same locations that currently exist. The wetland resource area for this was delineated by John Zimmer. It's located on the other side of Circuit Avenue West. The driveway to the property is actually two driveways. The driveway to the east, all the way to the right on Raleigh Road, and then a parking area where it's showing the existing brick to kind of the northwest of the property off of Circuit Avenue West. The 100-foot wetland buffer zone cuts roughly through the middle of the house there. Just gonna zoom in a little better here. So it cuts roughly through the right-hand side of the existing home. So two of the additions are actually outside of the buffer zone. The pool over to the right-hand side, they kind of utilize the existing driveway, retain the existing shed to the back there. They are on town sewer, town water, so we don't have to worry about any septic system on this one here. We have proposed erosion control along the full length of Circuit Avenue West. We did wrestle a little bit for where to place the erosion control on this, but there's kind of an unusual proposing to remove that extends over the property line towards Circuit Avenue West. The existing vegetation within the layout is pretty dense, so we felt the only place we could really place it that would be effective was directly against Circuit Avenue West, between the trees and the existing way opposite the wetland resource area. Other than that, some proposed walkways, proposed pool deck around the 10 by 20 foot smallish pool, some steps to get up onto the porches into the dwelling. And I'd be glad to answer any questions you may have.
Thank you. I will note that, and Michael commented on this too, in existing conditions, there's about 4,650 square feet of impervious. This project proposes to nearly double the impervious surface on the property to just over 9,000 square feet. That was my general takeaway seeing this, and I was curious if there were any considerations for some of the walkways to be permeable pavers. I know that the material wasn't, I don't think, called out. I don't know if you guys have got to that point yet. Or if there was any considerations for some subsurface roof drainage.
Yeah, we'd be glad to add some. I think the roof drainage would probably be more effective. And we would be glad to commit to doing those roof drains here. I would suggest providing a volume within the roof dry wells equal to about a half an inch of runoff over the entire roof area here. Based on the soils in the area, I think that would be effective and appropriate.
Yeah, I think that would be a good compromise to the increase in impervious.
Yes.
Besides that, I don't have any other comments or questions. Does any commission members have any questions, comments?
I don't have any questions or comments. I will note that the building commissioner has not heard anything of this project yet. And he states this requires a special permit with the Zoning Board of Appeals.
Okay.
Okay. If no one else has any other comments or questions, anyone from the public have any comments or questions regarding this project? Anyone on Zoom? Okay, hearing none. Michael, do you have any other comments you'd like to add?
Yes.
Conditions?
I would suggest the following conditions for this project. General conditions 1 through 18, which are standard special conditions. Prior to construction, condition 5 and 2, to have a pre-construction meeting and stake out the site. During construction, condition 11, to ensure best management practices are met. After construction, condition 1, to file for a certificate of compliance. And erosion control, condition 1, to ensure that erosion control noted on the site plan remains in place and working condition throughout the duration of work. And to also have an updated site plan with those roof drains noted.
Yeah, and if, Mike, if you want to add the condition, that half-inch volume for the surface area of the roof. With that, I'd like to make a motion to close the public hearing and issue a certificate of compliance, excuse me, a order of conditions for the project.
That would be nice.
Can I have a second?
Second.
We'll do a roll call vote. Corey?
Corey Miles, yes?
Liz Lake, yes.
John O'Donnell, yes?
Craig Hanafin, yes?
Bert O'Donnell, yes.
Jesse Platt, yes.
Sam Alfronti, yes. Thank you.
Thank
Thanks,
you.
everyone. Have a good night.
You too. Okay, I'm going to do, we have 3 continuations. I'm going to do those now. The first is 278 Ocean Street. This is still, I believe, wrapped up with building and zoning, so I'm going to continue this to 11/5.
They requested 10:15.
Oh, okay, fooled me. I move that we continue 278 Ocean Street to October 15th. May I have a second?
Second?
Craig Hanafin, yes. John O'Donnell?
Yes?
Liz Lake, yes.
Bert O'Donnell, yes.
Jesse Platt, yes.
Sam Alfronti, yes.
Corey Miles, yes?
Okay, thank you. The next is 34 Marginal Street. They have requested a continuation to November 5th. I move to allow that. May I have a second?
Second.
Roll call vote. Sam?
Sam Alfronti, yes.
Jesse Platt, yes.
Bert O'Donnell, yes.
Craig Hanafin, yes?
John O'Donnell, yes?
Liz Lake, yes.
Corey Miles, yes?
Okay, and lastly, 91 Old Colony Lane, SE 423131, have also requested continuation to November 5th. I move that we allow that. May I have a second?
Second?
All in favor?
Sam Alfronti.
Sam?
Sam Alfronti, yes.
Jesse Platt, yes.
Bert O'Donnell, yes.
Craig Hanafin, yes?
John O'Donnell, yes?
Liz Lake, yes.
Corey Miles, yes?
Okay, that is that. So now we are on to our business items, the first of which is the North River Commission. So if you would like to come to the table, wherever you're more comfortable.
Fine, thank you. Thank you, everyone. Good evening. Mary Ann Leonard, 70 Damon's Point Road. I'm the representative for Marshfield for the North River Commission. And before I start, I want to thank you all for your support, for your opposition to H 4110 was Representative Kearney's bill to have us abolished and then transfer the power of the protective order to each individual town, which there's 6 of you up along the North River. As of right now, I haven't heard anything further than what we had heard from when we were there. They said it was about 60 to 90 days, so still waiting to hear where it's going to be. But again, we really appreciate the support that you all give us. So the reason that I'm here tonight is the protective order was written in, as you over there should be telling this, not me. We can thank you, Bill, for this. Don't blame me. It was written in 1978, so there's some updating that needs to happen, as you all know, just even from the things that you have to go by. And one of them is the floats and the docks that we have. So I don't know, I have printed out what we're going to submit as our bylaw, and the reason that I'm here is just to have you look at that. I have some copies if you need it, and just to see if there's anything that stands out to you, something that you would want to add to this. I've talked to the harbor master, Mike DeMeo, and he had a few more verbiage than anything else, Do you all have one of these, or do I need to give?
No.
them?
No?
No, we were not distributed them.
Okay, let me,
Thank you.
Thank you.
Oh, that's okay. Thank you.
Thank you.
so if you want, I can give you a moment just to
Yeah, we'll
breeze
just
through
have a
it.
look here.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, thank you. Not quite as detailed as yours.
Fortunately for you.
Yeah.
Thanks, Sam.
Thank you, Sam.
No worries.
Well, you know, clearly you're holding them to a 10 by 20-foot float, which agrees with our regulations. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, and so the only thing so far, because I have not gone to, the last stop will be the Board of Selectmen. It's just more of a, here's what we're doing, just to keep everybody on the same page. So if you would go under section 4, under number 3, one of the ideas that Mike had was to replace the displacement with vessel draft, which is under number 3 on that first line. He also said on number 4, instead of certified, have it stamped, so we have a plan stamped as opposed to certified. And that was really about all that he had. And so, also just looking for anything that you might see or you might want to add. And we're not going forward with this. We have the month of October, and we'll meet on this again in November. And then we have to go through the process of making it available to the public and so forth. So, but one of the other things which I think would probably come from you, Mike, more than anyone else here is, what Mike DeMeo was saying to me is that the North River usually is the last place that the applicants go. So he was suggesting, and I think this has happened before, maybe it just hasn't happened, or maybe there's just been no docs going on, that if you were to be having a site visit, which probably might happen a lot of the times, that, you could also contact our agent, and we could then
If I
attend your
noticed any
site.
violations,
Excuse me?
if I noticed any violations, or to do a joint site visit.
Yeah, to do a joint site visit.
Okay.
Especially if someone's doing something new with their dock, or
Right.
they're applying for a dock permit or whatever, so it's just helpful that way too, so.
Yeah, no, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He also did suggest reflectors on the floats, because they can break, not as much today as they were in the past, I guess, but when you have something that size floating down the river and, it gets dark early, reflectors would be really helpful, so. That's about all I have.
What did this change from your previous regs? I thought you had some regs as far as handrails and that kind of thing.
That would be on the catwalk.
Yeah,
Um,
that's not covered within this?
That is under it's under difference, well, I'm sorry, this part was just about the approval so that someone could do that permit. What our original protective order did not have, it didn't have any sizing of a dock on there. which can be very confusing to people. And then, you know, as you must have found too, here, you know, what people would want to be able to put in. So that's pretty straightforward. I think that any of that catwalk is going to fall underneath either your own requirements or underneath the state's requirements.
Okay, I thought the North River Commission had some, you know, where you required the rope between
No.
posts?
No.
Okay.
Do we require railings on our,
Probably about how high off the ground it is.
Yeah, I honestly don't know off the top of my head.
That may be covered by building regulations. I know that's something that Andrew's been concerned about in the past.
yeah, that's, know that, but I don't. But, yeah, it doesn't matter, I'm just sort of curious.
Yeah, that was just an offhand question.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, what's interesting too is because the protective order really is concerned about the scenic view.
Right, the aesthetics of
It's
it,
all about the scenic view, right?
yeah. Yep. Anyone else have any comments, or? Okay, I'll go over this more carefully.
absolutely.
Since this is the
There's-
first time
there's
seeing
plenty
it,
of
but
time.
I
Yeah.
don't see anything there that contravenes anything we do, or seems to be, yeah.
Short and sweet.
Yeah, yeah, so I'm wondering though, like if you allowed a larger than 10 by 20 foot float, we would not.
Okay.
I don't, yeah, that's
Yeah.
something we're pretty hard and fast on.
Right, and I think that's why that's what we have been putting in.
Putting
here,
in
too,
there.
You know, and then obviously the further up the river you go, the smaller they might be, you know, just.
Nobody
because of
goes smaller.
navigation. Well, I know. Yeah.
Yeah, that's great. I will go over this more carefully. And if we see anything
Sure.
that we think should be added or modified, we will let you know.
Thank you so much.
And we need to, find a way to note that when we get a North River Dock application, we should include the North River Commission on the site
On the
visit.
Yeah, it just makes sense.
Yeah. Okay,
Thank you so much.
Thanks for coming
Thank you
in.
for your support. My pleasure.
okay. Now we have our continuing Salt Marsh UAS field work. Is Ryan on?
Presence.
Hi, Ryan.
Hello.
Would you like to explain your project? I don't know, there may be new commissioners here since you have been before us.
Yeah, I have a presentation prepared, if I can share my screen.
Sure.
Yes, I made you co-host, so you should be able to.
Wonderful, thank you. All right, I should be sharing the slideshow now. Can you see it all right?
Yes.
Yes.
All right, thank you. Hi, folks. My name is Ryan Wicks. I'm a research fellow with UMass Amherst, studying the salt marshes. Thank you for, I'm representing my team, the names of whom I have listed on this first slide. The PIs are Scott Jackson and Charlie Schweik. And thank you for taking time to fit us into your agenda. So I'm going to do a brief overview of our project because it's a project that spans several years across Massachusetts, studying salt marshes and salt marsh conservation. And then I'll talk about our prior work and planned work for South River for this year, the South River site in Marshfield. So I'm currently calling from the Barnstable Marsh, Barnstable Great Marsh. I was out here doing survey work today. And these are all of our sites that we have across Massachusetts. So this is an EPA-funded project for the last 6 years. The Massachusetts Department of Environmental Protection has started funding our work as of this year as well, moving forward for the next 2 years as part of the long-term salt marsh monitoring program. And so we're one of multiple organizations that we're partnering with to put together plans, standard operating procedures, and coordinating environmental monitoring of salt marshes. But this is continuation work of just the EPA-funded project that is closing out in 2026. So this is research focused rather than long-term monitoring. But the expectation is that the research that we collect here will feed into the management practices that we'll be advising, making recommendations to the DEP as well as the state in general, across Massachusetts. So we have several actually that are clustered around the South River. We have 2 in Situate, Peggy Beach, as well as in North River that we've been monitoring for several years now. And then the South River site is located just north of Wrexham Beach in the salt marsh there. And I will show you maps of where we're planning to do everything, but to continue to talk about the general work that we do is we do ground truth sampling, we do transect sampling to do vegetation surveys, which is what I was doing today. We generally install water loggers, which we had installed at the South River site last year. We don't plan for that for this year, but in the past we've done that. And then we also do aerial surveying using drones, using multiple spectral bands, and do LiDAR surveys that we've done. All these data products that we've collected are fed into several models that we're building to be able to apply as tools for salt marsh monitoring in the future once we've refined them. So those have to do with classifications for bank condition, ditch condition, as well as random forest model classifications for looking at vegetation communities and distribution on the salt marsh platform, as well as the extent of things like ponds and pans and things like that. And we also are doing relating these data products to hydrology analysis that we are doing. So for our ground truth, again, the things we'll be doing, we're planning to do at the South River site or have done are things like install ground control points, that you can see a picture of there on the left. So they're small 12 by 12 inch PVC panels that are mounted on a PVC pole that we will put in the marsh. And then we leave them there as aerial targets to be able to align the images that we take when we do the aerial surveys, and then we take them out at the end of the project. So the planned removal date would be summer 2026 for this year. In the center there, that's just again we're planning to do a few days of ground surveys for vegetation surveys, and we are not planning to install any water loggers at the site. I'm sorry, we were planning to install 3 water loggers. Last year we installed 60 water loggers in a 3-week blitz to get more detailed hydrology information, but we would just have the standard 3 water loggers installed, which are these small capsules that we mount on PVC poles, and we secure them to the salt marsh platform by putting them in the peat. So this was as of 2022. We haven't updated this with the new transects we've been collecting at different sites, but the general idea is that we will collect regions, not just individual locations, but we will take several vertices and classify entire regions of certain similar clusters of vegetation communities that we can then feed into to train the models to recognize those vegetation communities. And so the water loggers are meant to support like in situ, on the ground data collection to verify our aerial surveying for where we exceed the extent of water, as well as to develop more accurate hydrology models based on elevation models that we can create from the aerial surveys that we do as well. And so here's a more detailed look at what the tile classification might look like. So this is at Essex, for instance. So we can produce on the right-hand side here, you see an elevation model that was produced for some of the channels. And then we provide photo interpretation to train the model to flag areas where we see significant erosion or calving. In the top left there, you can see the calving happening at the Essex site right there in the top left corner. And then the model in the bottom left hand corner will predict where you see calving events and degradation of salt marsh channels or ditches. So this is something that we're actively developing. I'm just showing you this as some of our early results. These aren't ready to share as our final results just yet. And when we're doing the ground truth transects, I should clarify, a single transect is usually about a 2-meter wide swath where we're getting similar vegetation communities. So our results so far from the last few years of data collection across the state, our accuracy, so I see here on the left-hand side, I'm saying we have, for our random forest models, we're getting a kappa range of 0.98 to 0.3, so those are our best estimators. We need a point estimator for our accuracies of our models. We're seeing somewhere between 98% and 83%. And here on the right-hand side, this is our classification scheme or results for one of our sites, Old Town Hill, where we're getting better results. So you can see here, based on the, I don't know if you can see the text, but the color code here, the image here, the scale is about 100 meters across, and there's about, within this field of view, there's about maybe 12 of our 27 subclasses have been identified by the model. So you have low marsh, intermediate marsh, 3 different classes of transitional marsh that have to do with the distribution of the vegetation communities. And as well, you also have classification for water features like ditches, dug runnels, as well as channels, and other high marsh features like high marsh exposed substrate that's denuded of vegetation. South River has, of the sites, South River is actually currently scoring the lowest, and part of this is due to a variety of factors. We haven't been doing South River as long. We haven't been collecting data as long, so we're hoping to collect more data to help supplement the model. We're also in early stages of like getting these model results, so there's also some issues about double checking and QQCing some of the ground surveys that were done in prior years. So we're expecting those to improve. But one of the things we're also hoping to do this year is to collect more data to supplement that, or to do data validation from our prior models. So as an example of a site that's doing really well, we have our confusion matrix here, where on the top row you have a list of what things should be classified as they were verified in the field. And then in the column on the left-hand side, you see the model outputs. And so what you should see for a perfect model is you should see non-zeros along the diagonal, so everything that was a 1 verified in the field, the model correctly identified as a 1, everything that was a 2 is verified by the model as a 2, and you should see zeros everywhere else. So that's the ideal scenario. No one ever hits 100%, so the fact that we're getting pretty close to that, we feel pretty excited about, and we're hoping to be able to extend this to create general models as well. In South River is one of the sites we'd like to collect more data at. So I can talk about South River a little bit more. Some of the things that we've been seeing on the ground surveys. This is maybe hard to see, but this was, I was trying to focus on, this was last season when we were doing some of our water logger deployments. You can see, it's hard to see here, but there's almost like a stream coming out of the peat, where the peat is draining during a low tide event after flooding a few hours prior. And so one of the things we're trying to study is the hydrology, not just what's happening at high tide, but how is the salt marsh draining. Some of the things that are of particular interest to us, where the trustees of reservations that manage other sites they've been doing, is looking at ditch remediation and ditch filling. Interestingly enough, at South River, some of this is happening naturally, where the ditches are collapsing and sealing off sections of the ditches that have been dug in decades past. And so here you can see on the left-hand side, some of the collapses actually caused the retention of water. And the idea is that hopefully this will help promote the retention of sediment, but this was not artificially done, this is just happening naturally. Whereas on the right-hand side, we're seeing other instances of continued erosion and expansion of the channels as peat is actually eroding away, so this is another thing that we'd be concerned about. And there's a bunch of factors driving this, but the focus of this project is just to develop remote sensing tools to be able to more carefully monitor these transitions at scale across Massachusetts and South River and other sites within Marshfield. Our current data products, this is an example that I showed last year of one of our elevation models of South River. So we're able to get highly detailed elevation models of the salt marsh platform that's accurate to within about 10 centimeters vertical accuracy. And here's the orthomosaic. We can get lateral accuracies of about 1 pixel size, so depending on the tool that was used, or the product that you're interested in, we get something between 3 centimeter lateral accuracy and 16 centimeter lateral accuracy. So just to get a sense of what kind of resolutions we have, this is what it would look like when you can zoom in. This also gives us detailed information about the condition of banks, and we're feeding this into the models to help identify eroding banks and expanding ponds to give us metrics to be able to monitor salt marsh health. And so this is an example of one of our survey plans from years prior, where we go out and we survey the different vegetation communities and when they transition between the different land cover classes at the South River site. So for going forward for this year, the plan is to, in this image, is to to do ground surveys at the locations we have not done, so we can validate prior models, and if we need to pull in a little extra data after the cleanup that we're currently doing, then we can use that to supplement prior year data for training the models. The transect locations we're planning to go to do those vegetation surveys are highlighted in orange, and the points here were the proposed locations for waterlogger deployments. We have decided, given the lateness of the season, not to deploy the waterloggers at the site and just rely on the hydrology data that we collected last season. So we'll still deploy 3 of these waterloggers. They'll probably be right here by the recreation, I'm forgetting the name of it, but there's like the soccer fields and there's the playground there. That's usually we hike in and deploy the waterloggers at this location to monitor the inundation levels over the course of the remainder of the season. So that's what we have planned, and a brief background about our project. I'm happy to take questions at this point, but we're hoping to get permission to continue this work, and so that we can finish through the project at the end of 2026. Thank you.
Thank you. When did this project start? How many years in are you?
Yes, the project started in 2018. South River, I think, was, we started in 2018, we've been monitoring and collecting data every year since then. I believe South River was added a year in 2019 or 2020. It wasn't one of the initial sites. And then for a couple years, we stopped monitoring it because we had GPS connectivity issues, given the proximity to the forest. But we've since resolved those and have continued to work in the last few years. So we have data at the South River site for, I believe, far back as 2022, and have regularly been collecting there for the last few years.
Okay, that's great. Anyone else have any comments? We have a comment from the audience. Can you go to a microphone?
I just have a couple of questions. If that's
Sure.
Good evening. My name is William Finn, 96 Dog Lane in Marshfield. I have a couple of questions, if that's okay. Are you measuring salinity anywhere?
We are not measuring salinity at South River or at any of our sites. We do have some sites where we're overlapping the same locations as coastal zone management, as well as where the trustees of reservations are doing projects on their sites. I do not know if they're monitoring salinity, but we are not doing that.
Okay. Do you have any written interim reports that we could see?
We do. They are not South River specific. Again, this is funded by the EPA. We have EPA reports that we have published in 2021, that we've published and submitted to the EPA in 2021, 2023, and most recently this year in 2025. I believe I think I already forwarded those earlier this year, but I'm happy to forward them again to any address or email the commission to review.
Could you forward them to the commission? Mike Seeley at the commission?
I believe I have. Mike, do you have those in hand?
Yes,
or?
they're actually available on Google Drive.
On the town?
Yep, under anybody who has access to our commission Google Drive will have access to those.
Okay.
Let me just pull those up.
And can you give us any contacts at UMass who we might have questions throughout the year about what's going on?
Yeah, of course. So I am the field manager for this season. My name is Ryan Wicks, like I said, and I believe, Mike, you have my email and phone number. If folks want to reach out to me, I'm happy to have you share that with folks if they have further questions.
Perfect.
If if I'm out, several days, I might not be checking my email for a couple days if I'm out in the field. But Scott Jackson and Charlie Schweik are the PIs. Mike, do you have their contact information? If not, I can forward it.
Yeah, if you don't mind forwarding those, and also the older reports, we have one from June of 2025, but some older ones would be nice to add to our records as well.
Okay, let me make a quick note of that.
And lastly, are you coordinating any of this information and effort with the North and South Rivers Watershed Association?
Not with the North and South River Watershed Associations, no. We've been mostly working with towns and other conservation commissions, but I'm happy to. There's no reason we couldn't share that information and coordinate.
I would suggest that you contact the Watershed Association and coordinate some of this information with them, because they might have information that might be helpful to you as well. And just to let you know, we are going to be collecting some salinity data on the upper reaches of the South River in the near future. So we might be able to provide that to you if you would find that of any interest.
Yeah, thank you so much. I think for the EPA project in particular, that's beyond the scope. However, for the DEP work that's coming down the pipeline, I think collaboration and coordination with data collection and analysis and environmental monitoring is front and center to the goals that we have in mind. So that would be wonderful. Thank you.
Okay, that's all I have.
Corey?
Hello. Thanks for giving us some background on your project, Ryan. I was curious what data you were collecting with the water loggers.
Yeah, the water loggers, they're HoboWare water loggers by Onset. They have a pressure transducer, and they also have a temperature gauge. And so with that direct measurement, they're logging pressure and temperature every 10 minutes. And so we leave them for whatever period we want. I think we leave them deployed up to 8 months. But then we can recover them, and then that gets translated into water depth. And so when we deploy them, we use an RTK GNSS receiver to survey the location to within 3 centimeters vertical position, 3 to 5, ideally 3 if the reception's good. And then we're able to, for every measure point, add the surveyed elevation of each water logger to the depth that it measured at each of those 10-minute intervals. So we actually can measure the height of the water at that location relative to whatever datum we want to, like the North American Vertical Datum 88, to be able to know what the water level is there. And so we're doing things like comparing what different water loggers report compared to the adjacent ones, so we can average out and know ways to get better estimates of what the tidal stage was at that moment. It also helps us get a sense for how quickly the marsh is draining, if certain sections are retaining water longer than others. And so those are the main things that we're looking, and relating that to vegetation health, those inundation patterns. Did that answer your question?
Yes, yeah, that's really interesting. So you can tell like the length or the duration that water remained at a particular elevation.
Yeah, that's correct. The common metrics that we're currently looking at are things like proportion of time inundated over the deployment time or the window of time that we're interested in, the depth of inundation for inundation events, so you can look at the distribution of inundation, like the depth of inundation for different inundation events. And we're also looking at the duration of that inundation event. So if you look at each inundation event, how long was it? Look at the distribution of those events. And so those are the key metrics that we think are probably going to be indicative or related to salt marsh health. But those are things that we're tracking, doing statistics.
Okay, cool, thank you.
Okay, anything else? Well, I'm really pleased to see that this project has come this far, and you are going to make it to the end, it appears. I certainly am delighted to move that we allow you to continue the work in the Marshfield salt marshes. May I have a second?
Second.
Roll call, Sam?
Sam Alfronte, yes?
Jesse Platt, yes.
Bert O'Donnell, yes.
Craig Hanafin, yes?
John O'Donnell, yes.
Liz Lake, yes.
Lori Miles, yes.
Okay. Thank you, Ryan.
Thank you, folks. Have a good evening.
Thank you, you too. Okay, next up is Recreation Trails Committee.
Yes, hi, good evening. Ned Banks, I'm the current chair of the Recreation Trails Committee in 210 Woodlawn Circle in Marshfield, that's where I live. So we come tonight on two projects. We're looking for feedback and positive feedback so we can proceed with them. The first one is on Pratt Farm, and when you see the picture there, there's the red trail that goes across the property, but there's a blue loop trail, and that is accessed from South River Street. And when you come from South River Street onto the property where the old barn was, there's an open area there, and it's a little hard to see where the trail goes. So what we're proposing is to put in place 2 cedar posts that would be harvested locally, that would be in the property, that would be dead or dying on the ground. And that's a sample of my trusty bucket and a cedar tree. And those would be placed in the open area that you walk in to Pratt. So you could, at either end or either beginning of the loop trail. And it's just, what we found that it's just a little difficult to see where the entrance is when you come off of South River Street. So this would help with that. Several years ago at Webster's Wilderness, we had an issue on the Yellow Trail extension. There was a stone wall, and it was a little hard to get over. We had permission to locally source a cedar, 2 posts, and a handrail, and we put them in place there, and there it is, still standing to this day, and helping people as it was last Tuesday on our walk. It blends in. We feel it's much nicer than having a 4x4 PT post or a metal railing in there, and just it looks like it belongs there. So we would look to almost replicate, to some degree, what we did at Webster's Wilderness, what we'd like to do at Pratt. And would have several people from the trail ambassadors and myself just teaming up to pick an afternoon to find 2 cedar trees that look good, put them into place, and put some blue markers on them. So that's what we're looking to do there.
Well, I have no issues. Does anyone have any comments, or Mike, any commissioners?
No.
Okay, I move that we let the Recreation Trails Committee put 2 cedar posts to mark the entrance from South River Street to the Blue Trail.
Yes.
At Pratt Farm. May I have a second?
Second?
Sam?
Sam Alfronte, yes?
Jesse Platt, yes.
Bert O'Donnell, yes.
Craig Hanafin, yes?
John O'Donnell, yes.
Liz Lake, yes.
Lori Miles, yes.
Okay,
Thank you.
and then you have a Couch Beach.
Yeah, so Couch Beach, one of our favorite places to walk and collect data. This, we're looking at the, otherwise known as trash and beer bottles and cans and so forth. At what we like about Couch Beach or Couch Cemetery is that there are 2 entrances for the trails. If you go onto the property, this is in the rear of the property, and this signage that says this is where the trail starts. When you go in, maybe, I don't know, Mike, maybe it was 40 or 50 feet, we're in there, it gets really muddy. And what has happened most people don't like walking in the mud, so they're making another trail. looping around it. And so we brought Mike out there to take a look, to talk about what we could do for improvements to the area. We came up with the bog bridge, which the design had been approved by the Andrew Stewart, the building commissioner, several years ago. We've used it. That's not the one that we would use, though. There's maybe, yeah, those are the plans
The
that.
design I had on
Yeah.
file.
The design that Andrew, so there are several different types of bog bridges have been or are currently out on different trails. We were trying to come up with a standardized solution for that, and worked with Andrew to come up with a plan that would work. And we've had at the current bridge, footbridge, it's located at Union Street Woodlands, at Furnaceburg Watershed, at the Pratt Farm. So they've all followed the design that Andrew has set up and approved, and Mike also looked at it from Conservation. We would have, it's probably about 30 feet, I think we measured.
Yeah, we measured it out. It was about 30 feet.
And our construction would be from the Marshfield High School Building and Construction Group. Tom Grellen heads it up, and they're our crew that goes out there and builds the trail benches, the kiosks that are there, the footbridges. We also work with Friends of the Wampatuck State Forest to build the same type of bridge, following the guidelines set up by Andrew. And so we'd like to install one at this location as well.
Yeah, it does get incredibly muddy in there, yeah. I'm just going to read Andrew's comments. Ned mentioned that they were going to be looking into doing bog bridges. He said he cautioned you about some locations because it may trigger handicapped accessibility issues. I don't think that would be the case here. A handicapped person certainly couldn't get through that, and I don't think we're really fully handicapped accessible here, are we? I don't think that's,
I believe that trail's ADA accessible, in my opinion.
yeah.
Yeah, as it currently stands, that has to meet certain grade requirements and incline requirements. I do not believe that's up to ADA accessibility at this moment.
Yeah, I would just tell Andrew you're about, to go forward with this,
Okay.
because he said he doesn't know where these are proposed, so you've obviously spoken to him in the past, and he's probably just not.
Yeah, we had him actually come up. We had a meeting of the minds at the Union Street Woodlands with, we had several of our trail ambassadors, Jeff Wilson, Mark Skagler, Mike was there, Andrew was there, Tom Grellen was there from the high school, so we all had
Okay,
a chance
so
to
He knows, okay.
interact and look at that particular site, and it worked, and that one was hugely in need of repairs.
Yeah, no, that would clearly be a betterment. Anybody have comments or questions? In that case, I move that we let the Recreation Trails Committee build a bog bridge at Couch Cemetery.
Yes.
May I have a second?
Second.
Roll call vote. We'll start with Liz.
Liz Lake, yes.
John O'Donnell, yes.
Craig Hanafin, yes?
Earl O'Donnell, yes.
Jesse Platt, yes.
Sam Alfredi, yes.
Corey Miles, yes.
Okay,
Perfect.
thank you, Ned.
Thanks very much for your help. Appreciate it.
And now we have certificates of compliance. The first being 12 Edward Road. This is good to go, Mike?
Yes, this was a town bylaw only certificate of compliance.
Ah.
The addition was built as proposed, and they have implemented the conservation markers. There's a small isolated vegetated wetland on the adjacent parcel, which triggers the town bylaw only as we protect the isolated vegetated wetlands. And the conservation markers have been respected over the years, and there's no further encroachment.
Okay, I move to issue a certificate of compliance for 12 Edwards Road. May I have a second?
Second?
Liz?
Liz Lake, yes.
John O'Donnell, yes.
Craig Hanafin, yes?
Bert O'Donnell, yes.
Jesse Platt, yes.
Sam Alfronti, yes.
Corey Miles, yes.
Okay. Next is 24 Constellation Road. I believe Andrew met with the contractor last week and went over where the new equipment will be located. So we're still actually waiting on that to be done, Mike?
Yes.
Okay, so we will, I move that we continue SE 421162 and SE 421690 to 10:15. May I have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Liz Lake, yes.
John O'Donnell, yes.
Craig Hanafin, yes?
Bert O'Donnell, yes.
Jesse Platt, yes.
Sam Alfronti, yes.
Corey Miles, yes.
Okay, 76 Carolyn Circle. We're going to continue this. This is in need of a number of permits, and in fact, I would say, Mike, if you could speak to Mr. Gomes and have him withdraw this request
Okay.
for the COC, because he has to go to zoning and building, and his zoning permit can't be renewed because it's expired, or it can't be extended.
Yes, that's
because it's
correct.
expired. So this is gonna be a while, so if you could ask him to withdraw this, and then when he has done his other permits, we will be good to go.
Perfect.
Okay. 278 Foster Ave, are we still?
All of the piles have been provided on a revised plan. Last time we were holding off due to the discussion with the building commissioner.
Right. So, but now there is a question of lattice. The space below the elevated building is required to be completely free of obstruction, or with breakaway walls.
That's true.
I went over this with the owner. I'm speaking for Andrew here. I'm reading his comment, and he is going to be coming in to meet with me to go over how to properly build breakaway walls that will comply with FEMA.
I think it would be wise to hold off until
I'm
that
going to
discussion
hold
takes place.
off. I'm going to continue this.
At the time of my site visit, there were no
There were no panels.
breakaway panels installed.
Okay. So I move to continue 278 Foster Avenue, SE 423103, to 10:15. May I have a second?
Second.
Liz?
Liz Lake, yes.
John O'Donnell, yes.
Craig Hanafin, yes?
Bert O'Donnell, yes.
Jesse Platt, yes.
Sam Alfronti, yes.
Corey Miles, yes.
Okay. 98 Cherry Street, I have been advised by town council that we may issue this COC, that the work on the house was never performed, and so do we issue a COC, or do we,
You would issue an invalid COC.
an invalid COC?
Yes.
Okay. Just here. I move that we issue an invalid COC for SE 422736, 98 Cherry Street. May I have a second?
Second?
Liz?
Liz Lake, yes.
John O'Donnell, yes.
Craig Hanafin, yes?
Bert O'Donnell, yes.
Jesse Platt, yes.
Sam Alfronti, yes.
Corey Miles, yes.
Okay. SE 420549, 172 Carolyn Circle. The applicant has requested withdrawal of this. I move to grant that. May I have a second?
Second?
Liz
Liz?
Lake, yes.
John O'Donnell, yes.
Craig Craig Hanafin, yes.
Bert O'Donnell, yes.
Jesse Platt, yes.
Sam Alfrandi, yes.
Corey Miles, yes.
Okay, and SE 422967, which is 70 Parker Street. This required 2 years of monitoring for 100 plugs of beach grass, 3 bayberries, beach heathers, and beach plums. No monitoring reports have been received. Brad Holmes will be working on a monitoring report for the commission, so I move to continue that to October 15th. May I have a second?
Second.
Let's go the other way. Sam?
Sam Alfrandi, yes.
Jesse Platt, yes.
Bert O'Donnell, yes.
Craig Hanafin, yes?
John O'Donnell, yes.
Liz Lake, yes.
Corey Miles, yes.
Okay, and lastly, we have 270 Pine Street. This was a septic repair completed in 2005. So I move that we issue a COC for SE 421784. May I have a second?
Second.
Oh, whoop. Sam?
Sam Alfrandi, yes.
Jesse Platt, yes.
Bert O'Donnell, yes.
Craig Hanafin, yes?
John O'Donnell, yes.
Liz Lake, yes.
Corey Miles, yes.
Okay, and that concludes our I'm sorry, you were the very last. I would have moved that up.
Are you the owner of 270?
Well, I was. I moved out today. 2 years. So,
Wow.
Oh, wow.
That was the first house I ever bought,
what?
on 270 Pine Street.
What year was-
1980-ish, 79 or 80, when it was built by Bob Jr.
Yeah, yeah. I moved in 2003. And apparently the paperwork wasn't filed, it was all completed.
And I
Yeah.
figured when I saw that, and now you found that it is
Yes.
open.
Yeah.
Yep, I understand.
So we
And
live.
Mike had a very nice visit and said everything was good, so I wasn't worried.
I'm just going to move to adjourn, to end the meeting of the Marshfield Conservation Commission of October 1st, 2025. May I have a second?
Second.
Final roll call.
Sam Alfrandi, yes.
Jesse Platt, yes.
Bert O'Donnell, yes.
Craig Hanafin, yes?
John O'Donnell, yes.
Liz Lake, yes.
Corey Miles, yes.
Okay, we are adjourned.